Heyo,
Yo,
welcome back. It feels closer to 2026 than 2025 based on how long
right?
we've been gone.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
it's been about a month, and
Yeah.
obviously things, the holidays, traveling, vacations, family, all that stuff was hard to get an hour here and there,
Yeah,
but
it
we're
was.
we're back. We're
The
back,
boys are
and
back.
you look refreshed in the background there. What's going on?
Yeah. Yeah. So we kind of had a little bit of I needed a space. And then Carly, my daughter, she wants to do her homework. She practice her dancing. So it's like the spare bedroom that you and Steph come in and sleep in when you guys visit us. We kind of turn that into like a podcast room, arts and crafts, homework, half a dance studio, yoga studio. Like it's all the things. But I get this
Multifunctional.
but I get this little corner, right? So I have my desk. We put up some shelving. I've got all my different beer glasses behind me for the listening audience on Spotify. All the like Steins and all those other IPA glasses. They're all behind me, and the YouTube watchers they can see. And then I got one little sweet little present here over my, which I guess would be my left shoulder. And I kind of sent you a pic, and Aunt Tina, she had sent you a teaser.
Antina. Yep.
But now that we have this art room, like I'm getting a tremendous amount of support of the
That
podcast
looks like
here.
art to me.
Yeah,
I'd
it is
say hang that
art.
in the Louvre.
The
Yeah.
Louvre en France. Anyway, so
Exactement.
Carly is an incredible artist, and she comes by it honestly. Like my mom's a great artist. Her mom is very keen eye. She's got all that stuff, and her grandmother, on Krista's side, which I guess is Krista's mom, is like a wicked artist. So Carly actually drew this out and painted it and
Nice.
gifted it to me to hang for the podcast. So it's
Very representative.
I had to display that the pint taken, hand painted. It's Carly original, one of a kind. Bidding starts at $1 million.
I
But
think it looks perfect where it is, man. So I'm not going to try to buy that from you. That's where it belongs.
yeah, thanks, Carly. I love you, sweetheart.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
So new year, new beer.
Yes,
Or
sir.
beers. Hopefully, there's many throughout the year.
Yeah.
So we're back. It's about a month off. Just all that time away. It was hard to get an hour anywhere within. There was some traveling done, some all the holiday stuff. But now we're back. Regular rotation. Should be back weekly. But yeah, feels good to be recording again and
Yep.
drinking beer. Drinking beer wasn't the problem while the holidays
not
were
at all.
happening, but getting it on we'll call it on paper was the tricky part. But we're gonna shuffle things up a little bit. We're gonna crack a beer right away because we got stuff to kind of catch up on.
Yeah.
We want to talk about all the beers we've experienced, not all of them, but the highlights of the beers we've experienced over the last month or so, and just set forth some beer goals for 2025. Nothing extravagant, but like what's in the plans for the year. So that's how we'll lay this one out.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, like just what are we gonna do with this thing? Aside from
Yeah.
us just goofing around, having a beer 5 hours apart, like once a week, right? So
Yeah.
what are we gonna do here?
We'll see.
Yeah.
Before we get going, a couple things I want to mention. One, I guess both kind of on a serious note, really. But so I was in California, as we'll talk a little bit more later. So I was in California at Disney over the holidays, and that was a trip. But we managed to get out of Los Angeles 2 days before the fires started. And I mean, if you don't know what's going on in California and in LA, you're probably under a rock. But very thankful that we weren't impacted by it. But really, just a shout out to like everything that's happening there. And there's just so much going on. It's crazy the damage that's been done. So it's just, thoughts with everybody there. It seems like it's getting a little bit better, but man, the destruction is real. And I just wanted to kind of acknowledge that. And yeah, we got out safe, but something about us traveling. I feel like the last vacation we took was my sister's wedding, where it was 2 weeks before the world shut down for COVID. So it's almost like maybe we shouldn't travel all that much, but
Yeah,
we'll see.
I think you're seeing, and we have pretty decent luck with traveling. So maybe you guys just travel with us, and then we'll balance out the world, right?
Sounds
Like
about right.
we won't shut down the entire world's economy. We won't start a fire in California, And we'll just we'll come back and we'll feel great. And then you guys will we'll just level each other out, which would be wonderful.
That sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good. But so to all them, let's, continue to think about them and support and
for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy what's happening there. The second thing, also not a positive note, but while we were on break, actually it happened a couple of days after we recorded the last episode, was my guy right here for the visual audience. My guy, Rickey Henderson, man. We're both ball guys. Rickey Henderson passed away on the 20th. And man, we're both ball guys, right? And to see, he's like my second favorite player of all time. Shout out to Ken Griffey's. Griffey's number one. Yeah. But Rickey Henderson, man, he has so many records. He was so exciting. It was kind of sudden. I read that they don't know the cause entirely, but they think it was pneumonia, which is close to home for me. But just wanted to acknowledge Rickey, man, and pour a little out for Rickey, if you haven't already. Just an amazing ball player and an even more exciting character. God, that guy was unique, right? So
just incredible. If we grew up in the 80s watching baseball, and I mean that was peak Rickey Henderson time. And when he came to the Jays in '93, wow, right? We got to see him close up, and totally. That was a sad day. Another one,
the guy owns the all-time record in stolen bases, runs, and walks. Those are three main categories.
As a leadoff hitter,
he's the all-time leader, and hit with power at the leadoff spot, right? Oakland A's peak Rickey was, and the way Rickey talked in third person, it was just
that was the best
enigma. Rickey was one of a kind, man. So it's sad to see him. I mean, we see athletes pass away all the time, unfortunately, young and old. But Rickey was one of my favorites for sure. So
100%. I'm not
a shout out. Yeah,
I'm not an outfielder or anything,
but
Rickey
Henderson T-shirt, and I felt like that was completely necessary today.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, we talked about this before we started. The green LED lights totally fits now.
See?
Yeah.
It works. I knew that magic was going to happen.
Yeah. But I did read also, we're fans of the Major League movies, and Bob Uecker passed away today.
Just today.
RIP to Bob.
Yeah. Rough day for baseball, man.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, hey, he was 90.
He was. Yeah. The Major League movies are classic.
Classic. So yeah.
For sure.
Good times.
I'm thirsty. I don't know about you.
I've been thirsty.
You've been thirsty?
Yeah, I've been thirsty.
All right.
So I think I made my. You go first.
You made your choice.
I made my choice. Yeah,
yours sounds a little more fun than mine. So we'll go to you next, but I'll go first. I got something. It's just a Pilsner. I checked. Neither of us have ever checked this in, so I don't think you've had this one. It's called Our Pet Pilsner, and the reason I chose it was there's a dog on this can
Ducky.
that looks very similar to a dog that lives in my house. So I have a dog. I'll kind of right up close. So I have a husky / shepherd that looks just like that, named Tucker. So I thought, you know what? I pulled it out and I didn't even realize he was on it at the time. That picture was on there. And I thought, you know what? I'll give Tucker some love. So, just a Pilsner, nothing crazy, but the can kind of got me. So
sweet.
I chose that one.
I hope you collect on that name, image, likeness thing that's going around. The nil deal? Yeah. NCAA nil deal? I feel like that's pretty close to what Tucker looks like. Who's that made by?
This is made by, one second, I kind of forget the name. They're in Peterborough, I do know that. There's
Peterborough? That's a great color.
It is Public and House Brewery in Peterborough, ON. So I mean that's your beer, right? There's just nothing crazy, but we'll see what happens.
That's a good pour too. I've seen you do some pours. That's a good one.
That's pretty pilsnery, but very, very smooth. Yeah, not too much fun. Yeah. Very pilsnery, but that will definitely keep me hydrated throughout the episode.
Well, that's what you want too. So,
all right, you were debating between two. I could see the struggle in your face.
I was debating, and actually, I have to even swap glasses here. So I'll do that real quick.
I'm excited.
Yes. So, Christmas time. I explained this already once or twice. I love Christmas time because you get the like multi-packs or whatever. So I was at the
Yep.
LCBO 300 times in the last month or so since we last recorded.
That's it?
It feels like anyway. I mean, there's 365 days a year, so times 2 going back and forth to LCBO in 2 different locations as well. I ended up buying the Omni Pollo or Omni Palo, however we call it. I would say Pollo because I'm partial to Spanish language. The 4-pack, and if
Yep.
you've never had Omni Polo before, they tend to be on the stronger side. IPAs, stouts, whatever.
I have not. Yeah.
And they're quite delicious. Quite delicious. So this is the last one out of that 4. And I saved it
You saved it.
thinking that I would have it on the podcast here because, I mean, I've had a couple of different ones. We've talked about how I'm a little bit more adventurous than you are. And this guy here is called Agamemnon.
Exactly.
Yeah. The can, you look, I mean, and it's an all black can, just like Third Moon, and the label
Looks
is
like
great.
Aladdin.
It looks like an Aladdin thing, yes, with the green monster eye sticking out of the little crack here. Now, here's what's going to get you, I think. Okay. This is an 11.5% extra strong imperial stout with maple syrup.
Oh, okay.
So
That's an ingredient right there.
maple syrup, that's near and dear to your heart because the sugar. So here we go.
So you totally saved that one out of the pack. You
I
sneaky
did.
dad.
You sneaky dev. Oh, look, and the look how dark that is. I
You
almost,
sure that's not tar?
it's basically molasses.
I think that's what they do the roads with, man. That's
Filler.
that's in the asphalt.
And then when I'm done, every sip, I'm going to put this on my craft beer only coaster that a friend of ours, Mary Lynn, got us, or got me, many moons ago.
Nice.
So, I mean, like, you can't see
11
through
and a
it.
half.
You can't see through it, that's for sure.
11 and a half on a Thursday. There's something to be said for that.
Hey, you know what?
That's brave.
Summertime, we're playing ball on Thursday nights. Whatever. So, here's to you. Welcome back.
Yes, exactly.
Whew.
Ooh.
That's got some bite to it.
Do you still have hair on your chest?
Yep. Still, 1 or 2 are gray now. But yeah, I mean,
What does that taste like?
yeah, it's got a great finish. It's got like a maple syrup, coffee, dark cocoa nib kind of finish. But it's the initial, like, you breathe in and then you swallow.
When you get it up to your nose.
That's when you get the imperial part of it. So like the bourbon barrel aged kind of thing. It's not terrible, but I didn't expect that right away again on a Thursday night. So
You didn't expect that turpentine-y kind of.
it's not even turpentine. Like, it's really good. I love the Omni Polo cans because there's always like a little hidden message to it. On this one,
Oh,
it says it says upside down, "You are happy to serve me," as Agamemnon.
Oh. Do you know what that means? Or is it a riddle?
Serve me to you, serve you to me. I don't know. But I'm dumping the rest of the beer in my glass, and I'm going to drink this, and it's going to take me the episode to drink it. So, yeah, here we are. It's
You might have to
delicious,
have that
though.
on your night table beside your bed. Just
Yeah, I might.
smell the smelling salts.
Can you smell that from here? You smell it through the mic?
Just about. Yep.
Smell-o-vision. We need that. We have to have that.
All right. Well,
Oh.
you got yours. Now that we have something to sip on, definitely polar opposites. Yeah. So let's do some beer goals. So let's trade, kind of alternate on beer goals for the year. I mean, obviously, drink beer. That's I'm pretty sure that's an established goal for both of us.
Done.
So we'll just see what we haven't revealed this to each other. We're just kind of playing out what do we think we're gonna happen for the year.
Yep.
Then in the second half is we're gonna kind of recap and catch up and share our beer adventures because there were many over the course of 4 weeks, which is so crazy to say.
Wonderful.
But we'll do that. So beer goals for 2025. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
Sure. I can go
Flip a coin?
first.
You go first. All right.
I'm in this. I'm always in a never-ending quest to try new beer, but because we really are emphasizing Untapped again, Untapped not a sponsor, sponsor us. I
Agree.
feel like I'm so close to hitting 1,000 beers. So that's a very attainable goal for this year. I'm at like 885.
Yes.
So I think hitting 1,000 different beers, breweries, styles, all that, like very, very attainable. I think when you're goal setting, you have to set some goals up on a tee that you know you're gonna crush. I'm gonna crush this. I might crush this by March. I don't know.
Well, I'm a numbers guy, and I like that goal because you
so
gotta
1,000
vision.
beers, 1,000 beers by December 31st should be achievable by way sooner. But hey, if we
Depends
hit
on how many
1,100,
times we get together.
That's it. We hit 1,100. We hit 1,100. I'm trying to get you to 1,000 as well.
Well, it's funny you say that because I didn't think of it in terms of that, but now that you say that, I'm an amateur, and I think it's just because I haven't checked so many in for so long. So it's not that I haven't drank as many as I have recorded, but I just never thought about it before. So it's really been a thing the last year or two, or since we've been doing the tastings. But I'm at 370. It's probably more like 500 if I
probably
or 500 and 600. But for me to get to 1,000 is probably a stretch goal. But again, depends on when we get together and we're checking in 15, 20 in an evening. That that accelerates a little bit. So 1,000 is probably a stretch goal. I'd be very pleased with 800. That'd be. Yeah, that's basically doubling what I have now. So I guess if you put it to a number, I could.
Well, especially if we go down to Grand Rapids and see Graham and Carey and hit the Beer City Ale Trail, you'll be crushing because I'll be there. You'll just
Beer
be crushing.
Capital of America.
That's it. Well, I mean, we're going. You're just gonna crush in 200 in a weekend, and hey, here we go. Like I said, if it crests the lips, let's check in, man.
It's true. It's true.
What do you got? What you've been thinking about this for a while?
Well, I think mine was more podcast based, but I think it's just a general one. It's more just grow the podcast, right? So it's kind of keep doing what we're doing, but get out there. I would love to get a sponsor. That'd be amazing. I have to research into how the best the best path forward to do that. Untapped seems really like an ideal sponsor since we use them, and I'm all about getting the pro version of Untapped. If that's what it takes. But I'd love to get a sponsor, a bigger following, obviously, more
100%.
listeners. We want to keep entertaining, informing, all that stuff. But just the growth, I think, is the biggest thing. Let's see where we're at now compared to where we are in 2 months, 4 months, the end of the year, that kind of thing. So I think just growth, word of mouth, advertising. We've looked at different little things to get to push it out there, but we have a lot of fun with it. We want people to have fun with us. Have a drink if you're listening. I mean, maybe not driving if you're listening to the podcast version.
No,
but
we don't promote
growth.
We don't promote babies drinking, like you said, with that with that Stone Temple Pilot shirt you had on the other time.
That's right.
And we don't promote drinking and driving. So sit down, relax, listen to the smooth stylings, and have a pint with us. Yeah, no, I love that. I love that as well. Did you ever think, I mean, I'm sure you did, and we talked about it before we even started this, but did you ever think that we'd be on episode 5? I didn't. I knew we would be, but I was
maybe not so consistently. Maybe not right away, it would have taken time. But no, I think and especially now that
all
the Christmas stuff's behind, I can see it just being an easily weekly thing. So
we just gotta put pen to paper and
then I think as the nicer weather comes, we'll be able to do more adventurous stuff. Like you've sent me things about certain events and stuff like that would be really cool. And that's where your check-ins go up to if you're trying different stuff. So
I agree. And that's actually one of my next beer goals is 10 more beer festivals. Beer festivals, beer, craft beer, weekends, whatever. We missed the Laurentian Valley fall flavors in the fall here. It tends to be the weekend of Thanksgiving or so. So I mean, we don't generally go, obviously. But I know that there's 2 festivals. The I Heart Beer and Tacos Festival is coming up. There's one in Toronto, February 15th, I believe. I can't remember the exact venue, but the weekend after that or the weekend, 2 weekends after that is the iHeart Beer and Tacos Festival in Ottawa. So I'm really
closer to
pushing
home.
hard to go to that one. So I think we're coming down for what will be Family Day weekend because there's a bit of an event happening this Saturday night from what I heard.
Potentially.
Little birdie told me. So
Yeah.
we'll come down there. We'll check in 40 beers and then we'll leave town.
40, interesting number you picked there. But
Right?
yes,
You're a
related
numbers
to
guy.
the event.
4
Yeah,
days,
for
10
sure.
beers a day.
Easy. My other goal was second goal was similar too. It was basically visit more breweries, but that's the same sort of in the same vein, right?
Yeah.
It was like more events, more breweries, more beer fests, more. If there's anything that has beer fest in it and it's within a reasonable distance, like at least look at it and kind of go, okay, is that doable, or is there anything going on that weekend, like that kind of thing. But yeah, just more breweries in general. There's so many around now. Like the microbreweries are just like on every corner, it seems like. So
Yeah.
why not, right? Like go in. I love going into, like, Third Moon's kind of the one I always go back to, but it's because it's close. It's where my daughters play soccer. It's easy, and I love the stuff they do. So it's easy to go in there and just shoot the shit with like whoever's there. They all know everything about what they do, and they inform you, and they always have these exciting stories and things, and you learn. But why not do that at more places, right? So and they always have more stuff than is in the stores. So you go in and you see so many different things that you can't find in the stores. So that's why going to the breweries themselves is definitely something I want to do more of. Just as an enjoyable thing.
And then when we get together too, I mean, I've talked to Krista about it. Like when we come down, the next time, whenever it is that we come down, that we'll go to Third Moon because she loves those Epoch slushies, or the last couple that we've had. So if they're going to continue to do that, I mean, I have no doubts that Krista becomes a fan for life, right? Like I saw, and I messaged this to you in all caps, like get to Third Moon immediately, because I obviously subscribe to their emails, and they just dropped like 4 beers today, and I think you got to go and get them. I mean, they have the quadruple.
I'll be there tomorrow.
They have a quadruple that's coming out. They've got a one that's called the Long Winter. It's an IPA. And then these other two, they really like caught my attention. And I mean, I need you to get these, and I bet you Mom would try them as well. There's a coffee peanut butter stout that's come out. It's called Each Beast of God. I can't wait to try it. And then the I guess it's this month's Epoch slushy that we kind of chatted about briefly, like the mango banana berry. Mango strawberry banana. Like, this is beer. Don't forget this is beer, right? Like
they usually release their beers in 4s. Like if you notice, like once a week or every week or two, they'll release. They'll drop like an image of the 4 beers. Yeah, and they're always beautiful. Like you just see the colors and stuff.
The artwork is so crazy.
One of them tends to be a slushy beer. Like it seems like this is just continuing. So, I mean, praise to God. This is like these slushy beers just keep coming with sort of different twists and flavors, but. Yeah, they keep pumping them out, but this peanut butter one as well. Like anything with peanut butter, I'm in all the way.
Me too.
So yeah, there's a real nice collection they dropped this week. So I will be there tomorrow night, literally.
I will send you my credit card.
I will confiscate some of those.
Well, pay for them, but
maybe
confiscate mine. Pay for yours, confiscate mine.
Oh, it sounds like a plan.
Another one that I have too. Yeah, I have another one. Bring on some hosts, some of our friends. Try to attract some brewers or breweries. There's one that I follow in Petawawa. I mean, we're gonna have Chris on here eventually, right? That's a given. Yes. Chris is absolutely. Here's the thing:
the godfather of the IPA.
Godfather of the IPA. All hail. So I'm checking in beers, and we're gonna go through this in Beer Adventures. But like, do you know how hard it is to check in a beer that guy has not had?
Very difficult.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean,
almost like a competition.
Luckily, this Agamemnon he has not had. So, Chris, I got you. I got you, man.
It's hard, man.
I beat you on this one.
One
of my other buddies.
Something.
Yeah, one of my other buddies has had this in 2020, but like I beat Chris, so I'm okay with this, right? I'm gonna pin the medal right on my chest here and walk around like I have a beer that Chris has not had. Watch, he'll go and be like, "Oh, I had it. I never checked it in though."
Yeah,
just like till it burst my balloon.
You.
But there's another brewery in it's called the Nano Brewery, or that's how they call themselves. It's War Dog. War Dog? I want to say that's what it is. Maybe that's not right. It's in Petawawa. It's veteran owned. They're actually moving locations to a bigger space. It's almost ready to go. I cannot wait to go there. They make some really good beers, and I feel like most of their beers support veterans, and I'm all about that, especially in this area where Army through and through in this area, because base Petawawa is not far from us. It's the next town over. And I have a lot of friends that are ex-military, and thank them for their service. And I love to support local people and veteran stuff, so I can't wait to go and
all
check
good
them
stuff,
out.
man.
Yeah,
If you can wrap that into it, for sure.
yeah, 100%.
But back to your beer, like about the beer hosting. Like my next thing was the same thing. Guests, ask questions. Like it's one thing to research on your own and look things up and learn, but like these are the people that do it every day. I'd be curious to talk to some of those people, and it's sometimes not even it's not really as much about the process of it, but it's just like, how do you come up with the ideas? Like,
yes,
and like when you say like, oh, I want to try that, like what goes into the thought process of like actually making that happen, like executing on that? I'd be curious. So like I think reaching out to brewmasters and things like that, and people that have maybe people that own them, or even people that work there all the time, like that's going to be really interesting to dive into that. So that's another goal I had too, was
so it's actually one of the beers that this brewery makes is called War Dog, but the name of the brewery is called Doghouse Brewery. Excuse me, that bourbon there just kind of bubbled up to make a little appearance, but try to keep that down here. But yeah, Doghouse Brewery in Petawawa. So looking forward to that.
Nice.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, just attend more breweries, festivals, guest hosts. I mean, the best part about this podcast is that you and I, we don't discuss, like we discuss topics, but we don't reveal each other's notes. So like we have the same wavelength. Like same with our best beers list, worst beers list, right?
Yeah,
we didn't.
I mean, these goals are like insane.
The only one that we knew, the only one that we knew was Blueberry Treasure.
Yes, I knew that was coming well ahead.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think we talk about it every time we get together.
We've never seen it again. That's the problem. You maybe a little email to Muskoka just to be like, hey, does this still happen? Or can you make it?
I mean, I am supporting them today with my shirt with their Muskoka chair, not Adirondack chair. Excuse me, apologies. This is probably my favorite logo ever made. Is the Adirondack chair with the beer bottle sitting on the armrest. I remember years ago there was a restaurant here. It's called JJ's. Not to be confused with JJ's Diner from Parks and Recreation. Not the same. It was a craft beer place. It was incredible. But I had met, while working for Whitewater, I frequented that place. Chris and I would like to go there. And I had met the Muskoka rep for this area, and she gave me a hat, a gray hat with this. Like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, I have to have that hat. I don't care how much it costs, because nobody else in the Ottawa Valley had that hat. And it was a gray hat with this Muskoka chair and the beer bottle, and I'm sure I still have it somewhere. It's mangled because I've worn it in the snow, I've worn it in the rain, dropped it. It's been inside my truck for a while. But I really just love this logo. It looks so cool because it's just like sticks.
Well, it's simple.
It looks like
it's
sticks.
Just simple. It doesn't even need words. It's just
Yeah. What is that? You know what it is.
Exactly. Well, that's all I really had. The last beer goal I had was drink beer and expand the portfolio of Untapped, which we kind of already covered. But I didn't think about putting a number to it. So I like that you pitched that at the beginning.
It's because I'm so close to it, I think, right? Like it's very achievable. I mean, if you're in your everyday life, if you're setting goals, you set like attainable goals, then mid-range, and then long-term. So like 3 months, 1 year, 5 year kind of thing. Well,
like end of this year, I'd like to be at 20,000. I mean, I feel like that's
achievable. Yeah,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
If you believe it, you can achieve it. Sorry, that's like a tagline from a sales job I had years ago.
Were you selling beer?
No, I wish. I don't think I would have ever left that job. But yeah.
All right, is that a wrap? Beer goals 2025. Some basic
Yeah,
stuff. Or do you got any more?
I think it's all
Yeah?
ever evolving, just like our top beers list. You know, it's
Yeah,
just
agree.
what we said today might not apply tomorrow. Like once I hit 1,000, what's my next goal, right? Like 1,250, 1,500, catch
True.
crit. It's never gonna happen, but you
That's
know,
a challenge.
yeah, that's an uphill battle. But hey,
Absolutely.
we'll get there. We'll get there.
For sure. We'll be
Yeah.
at his total in 5 years. Yeah.
Yeah, and then his total will be
If he
tripled.
stops drinking, period.
Yeah, I mean, if
Yeah.
that guy could just like do a dry January and February, give us a chance. Give us
Give you
chance. Yeah, I'd
I
be
ain't
close.
got no chance.
You'll get there. If you do like everybody else that's ever done it, is just sit down and just check in. Like, oh yeah, I had Bud Light, I had Bud Light Lime, I had this, I had that.
Well, that's
You just,
my problem. I think I just never ever thought to do those ones. So even when like I had a MGD the other day, and I was like, "Hey, I didn't ever check." Like you
Yeah.
don't think of them, but you got to check in the classics. Like
You
the
gotta check
boring
them in,
classics,
man.
right? You gotta, yeah.
And
they deserve a spot on the mantle.
MGD is liquid gold.
Just a
That's
beer. It's great.
Yeah, so good, so good.
It's crappy and great at the same time. It's just a beer.
Yeah.
All right,
All
let's
right, so,
transition to
yeah.
beer adventures. And we saved this for the end because we just had so much time in between.
Yeah.
I know personally, I think since our last episode, I checked in, and this is without even drinking a beer, probably in a week, but I think I checked in 41 in
Wow.
the time. So I think we're both the same, probably like 40-ish, right? So
I went.
there's a lot in there, but there's
Yep.
a lot of like mediocre, whatever, but there's obviously some highlights.
Yeah.
I have a whole bunch of stuff here, but do you want to lead us off with
Well,
any highlights? Like how do you want to approach this?
You said 40. You said I probably checked in 40 beers, and I was like, okay, well, I'm actually going to go and check because we had like probably for Canadians, right? Probably the second biggest drinking event of the year, right? We had New Year's Eve. What's the first one? Victoria Day weekend. May 2-4. They sell boxes of beer in 2-4s, and it's just like that's how you remembered it as a kid. But I went back, and since our last episode, this is my 29th different beer, and I haven't had a Miller Lite in there, which is like my go-to, my baseline. I love it. 29 different beers in what 3-4 weeks?
Yeah.
So
now that's like I know I checked in. I think it's 41, but that's like flights. That's
Yeah.
like sharing a couple. Like it's that kind of thing. So yeah, it would be more. But if it was just a regular time, yeah, I'd probably be around the same.
yeah, I mean, almost a quarter of that was New Year's Eve. I checked in 8 beers.
Yeah.
Right. Ironically, the
right.
next morning I woke up a little spinny in the old head here.
So
But hey,
what's your highlights? Give me your highlights.
Oh,
What was
okay,
some of the
so-
good stuff? Let's leave out the middle ground, and if there's any bad ones, if you want to mention them, sure. But give me the good stuff. Like what have you done in the last month?
Okay,
What have your taste buds done?
They exploded because I've been all over the place. I've been
Yeah.
at like 4% beers up to, I had the Kentucky Bastard 2024 version. That's an Imperial barrel aged. So it's so good. So
I saw
Graham, my brother and I, we had this back in 2017 or 2015. I can't remember which. And it was like, I was into beer and I was into stouts but I wasn't into like the liquors. I was not the liquor, Randy. Not at this point in my life.
I am the liquor, Randy.
So I saw it way back when, and we were sitting in Mom and Dad's house, and we split the bottle, and it was very oak barrel aged. Graham, I think, liked it.
Yeah,
I could not get through it fast enough. This version, because I've also like expanded my palate now, and I'm drinking like a couple of mixed drinks here and there just to kind of break up the, for lack of a better term, monotony of beer. Like,
Yep.
And we're at Mom and Dad's house too, and Mom likes to experiment with her food and her cocktails sometimes. It's just a nice break up. This version, 2024, was really smooth. I think if you and I were to have shared it, you would have given it a 3. And that's saying something, right? Because that's not your wheelhouse at all.
No,
but
a little more manageable though.
Yeah, it was really good. It was not like, pow, it's not like this one. And this one's good. But it wasn't really like boozy. That's the buzz term that people like to use with those types of beers. It wasn't boozy like that. So I really liked it. The nice part is that Nickelbrook makes it. And Nickelbrook is 20 years this year, so it came with its commemorative glass, which is what I'm drinking this stout in. And I'm actually trying to drink more beers, obviously, but in the style of glass that they are recommended. So this is like a chalice. Stouts are supposed to be in chalices, so I don't know, something about the smell, and same with wines, I guess.
Hey, but glassware, future episode, right?
Yeah. Maybe teasing it.
Yep, I think so.
I'm doing a lot of research on that, as you can tell, also from my background.
I need learning on that. So, as do I'm sure a lot of people. I don't think a lot of people realize that there is a specific glass style for certain beers, and
it's weird. It's just not all in a pint glass.
So. Not all sippy cups.
Nope. But I mean, that Kentucky Bastard 2024, really good.
Improvement from the previous version.
Well, I mean, it's probably very similar, but just me being more experienced, I guess it was good. I really liked it.
Grizzled vet.
Yeah, grizzled.
What else you got?
Okay, so Blood Brothers, I've talked about them before on the podcast. I've recently discovered them.
They're right where I play basketball. Yeah, they're right down the street.
Mm-hmm. I highly recommend going to the bottle shop and seeing if you can get Guilty Remnant. It is a white stout.
Ooh.
Let me tell you how good it was. It was so good, I would buy it twice.
How good was it?
How good it was. I would buy it twice. I almost did, actually.
Damn.
But I poured it, and it said white stout. And I'm like, what does that even mean? So I bought it, obviously, because I'm curious.
Yes.
It's a total like it's a mind boggler, because it says stout on there. So when you expect to pour it out, you expect it to be black or whatever. It was, I have a picture on my Untapped. It was not see-through, but like almost like
I'll go look for that. Yeah.
Not like it was like a coffee, like a double coffee. That's what it looked like.
Damn.
And you go to drink it, and you're like, it shouldn't taste the way that it
like,
looks.
What's happening?
Like similar to like what you were saying with your Whitewater thing with the sour apple, right?
Yeah.
But in reverse, right? You said that it wasn't very sour and you didn't really get that apple. Mine was like, oh, this shouldn't taste, this should just be kind of blah, and then a flavor bomb in my mouth. It was so good. So good.
It's like when I tried the blonde Guinness. It was like, this is weird. This can't be Guinness. It was Guinness, but it was, it wasn't as good as the original, but it was just the weird, like the thought of it just looking like a light beer. And the word Guinness.
Yeah, I was, I mean, during the course of this, like, let's call it break, there's been a lot more different breweries available in my area. So, ones that I haven't seen.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Blood Brothers, I've seen a lot more. Now, I've had this other one from Lost Craft. They're a Toronto-based brewery, I'm pretty sure. They had one, again, the Petawawa LCBO refreshment stand, as I like to refer to them. It was an espresso martini stout.
Oh, yeah.
5 out of 5. 5 out of 5.
Really? That would be probably like a 2 for me, but I appreciate the creativity. Really?
You would drink that and you'd be like, I like this.
You got me curious.
Wow. I mean, I'm just thinking about it right now, and the flavor jets on my mouth are just activated, and I'm salivating because it was incredible, man. I cannot believe how good that was. I like espresso. I like stouts. Not too sure about martinis. But you combine all those three things together, you sign me up. And this one, top two I've ever had in my life.
Wow, that
Yeah.
is a statement.
Yeah.
Damn,
Yeah, it was so good. It was so good.
So you gotta
Like,
you gotta cop that one next time you're out that way.
Yeah, I put it up there with the first time I ever had the peanut butter shake from Whitewater Brewery.
Yeah, that was legendary.
So, I can't even stop smiling. It was so good. So good. Yeah.
All right, what else you got? Let's
I mean, I got a few. So a couple.
I'll
one that
probably
I
have
real-
to hit mine fairly like bullet point, like a quick fact, like because I got a lot, but it's more just like quick little things. But
yeah.
it's a good list.
So this one is called a Schwartz beer, and it was called the Black Lager from Silversmith. I'm not exactly sure where Silversmith is, but if this is my introductory beer to that brewery, fan for life.
Hooked.
Fan for life. 4.5 out of 5.
Woo.
Untapped, not a sponsor. So good. Yeah, so good. Yeah. I mean, like, it just, and we talked about this before, like, it's stout season, stout porter season. It was a black beer, but not a stout. So it didn't have that lingering chocolate silkiness on your tongue.
Interesting.
Sorry, I gotta wipe the saliva.
The stouts come out in the winter.
Yeah. It was so good. The can looked really nice. Again, like, all of this stuff is on my Untapped, and you can follow me on Untapped. Nothing to hide. But it just, yeah. I'm at a loss for words. Almost every beer that I had over the course of those 3-4 weeks, I loved.
They were good, eh?
Yeah.
It's a winning season.
Yeah, and so the Friday before Christmas, after work, I went to the LCBO. Went to the LCBO Saturday. Went to the LCBO after work on Monday. So 3-4 times in 3 days.
Where were you Sunday, man?
I had to take a day off. It's football. But I was saying to Krista, I'm like, I have wicked FOMO for the beers of that time of year. It's like, I don't need these beers, but what if, especially because we're doing the podcast, what if there's the number one beer that I've ever had just came out on Friday or Saturday?
You just got the number 2. So
2, baby. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So good.
5s don't come easy, right? So
they don't. And we have really critiqued or we're a little bit more judgy now, I guess, because of the things that we do.
More compare, right?
Yeah, I mean, on average, we're 3.5s, 3.75s, whatever. But and we justify it with our comments or whatever. Yeah. But 4.5, 5s. They're hard to come by, but I was handing them out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's the thing, right? Because 5s, 5s don't come easy. But man, you know,
when you get on a roll, you get on a roll. Right? Things just it's okay, this is mediocre, bam, 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 this thing knocking them out of the park. One of my favorite breweries now, and then I gotta talk to you about Cali, obviously. One of my favorite breweries that I have discovered in the last, let's call it November, Left Field.
Yes.
Left Field Brewery.
I'm starting to see them more now a little bit.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
They have that series, the Squeeze Play. And that's the sour series, Concord Grape, and then I bombarded you with this. The cherry pie sour.
The colors, man. Oh my god!
And it just so happens that was the second beer of choice today.
You don't touch that.
This one's for you.
Oh man!
Unless Krista drinks it first, because she
call me
loves
Left Field because my name is on that one.
Yeah. And one of the things that I love,
bury that shit in the backyard.
One of the things that I love about them is that on every can, they have a food pairing.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, this one I think it says cherry pie, but I had the Greenwood IPA on New Year's Eve. That was the starter beer, and it was Italian sausage or something was the ballpark pairing. Yes, I could see that. And they're not tall boys. They're 355 ml cans. Yeah. But they're so good. I had another one from them. Another series that they have is called Sweet Spot. That's their stout series.
Oh,
So this
they're
was
coming. They're coming out, man. I've seen a little
yeah
more of them just ever since
yeah
you mentioned them a while back. Like I
yeah.
even tonight, I ran through the LCBO real quick and didn't see anything other than like that. It, of course, I don't know if it was them for sure, but they made something called a Leafs beer, and it was like a Toronto Maple Leafs sort of
Yeah,
take.
I saw
No,
that.
I can't drink that.
Yeah,
That's
you can't drink it.
I'm
You
not.
might choke.
Nah, I will
Oh,
choke. It's
nice
the
one.
Leafs, man. Yeah, I
Yeah,
like.
you didn't even get
You
it,
will
but yeah,
choke.
yeah. Only in like April.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe May.
Sorry, Dad. Not
sorry,
sorry.
Dad, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm a huge fan of Left Field. I gotta.
I hope that more comes this way because I've only seen a couple, but some of the ones
Yeah.
you're talking about, like I need that in my life. So
Yeah.
hopefully they come
Well,
this way.
tomorrow's
Where are they
Friday.
from again? Where are they
Toronto.
from again? Oh,
Toronto.
okay. So then
Yeah.
they have
They have two
to be around.
locations. They have two locations.
Then
One's
I
in
will research
Leslieville.
that.
One's in Leslieville. So, from where we travel from, it's kind of off the beaten path, so it might not be as ideal to go.
Well, they might have a greenhouse. Who knows?
Yes. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. But yeah, I mean, so far I'm a huge fan. The last one that I wanted to highlight, and then I'll kick it over to you here, is Something in the Water, the Hazy Maitland IPA.
Maitland.
Yeah, Maitland. Yeah, delicious.
Who's that by?
Something in the Water.
Oh, that's the name. Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
I think they're in Toronto.
Yeah.
I follow so many breweries now, and like I'm on Instagram and I'm just scrolling, and they are dropping beers like crazy. It was an IPA.
It's insane the volume of
so
like
good.
Just it's
It,
wild.
it's when you're thinking about buying a white car, that's all you see is white cars. When you're thinking about beers, that's all you see is beers, and they're just all constant. Like your feed is just crazy, like beers and dropping and what they're putting out. And I mean, thank God I love beer. Not to like an excessive degree, but I can appreciate the craftsmanship with this 11.5% and a 2.5% Radler, right?
Yeah.
And all of that in between. So pretty happy with how things are going.
No, that's true, man, because like there is like Radlers there's a purpose for them, kind of, right? Like they're the lighter. I was actually going to do a Radler tonight before I picked that other one, but yeah, the summertime they're nice, especially if you're looking to just drink throughout the day, just casually, like you're not worried about like drinking two of them, then standing up and being like, wait a sec, I haven't eaten
like
in
these guys.
2 hours.
like these guys here.
Sit back down.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
so like I was following you and your journey.
My journey
out in Cali, and I mean, I was so jealous.
So
I told you that while you guys were going, I'm going to be on my phone immediately, like toasting your check-ins on Untapped.
Well,
so
we wished you were there, of course.
Tell me about Cali and you guys. It was you and the family, and then Graham and Carrie and the kids, and then Jamie and Chris and their kids.
Yeah.
So like, tell me about the beers. Now I have a couple questions.
Yeah.
Because we've discussed this in previous episodes about a certain flavor profile that you are not well versed in.
Yeah.
So, but I'm sure we'll get to that. But tell me how, tell me about the beers in Cali, because I was in New York, you were in Cali. They're two different styles. West Coast, East Coast rap.
For sure. So, East Coast, West Coast killers. So mine's kind of broken into two. So before I went to Cali, there was some really interesting ones I've had before I went there. So I'll name a couple before I went. So I think you've had this, but it's called Florida Stole My Parents.
Yeah.
Which is like the greatest name. That's so amazing.
Yeah.
It's an orange IPA. So like I'm not an IPA guy. Not to say I'll always try one. And I'm not saying they're not my thing. I'm just they're not the top of my list that appeals to me. But I feel like IPAs now have taken over beer. Like they're just like there's so many places that make them now. So and there's so many different versions of them. There's not just IPAs. There's like 100 different versions of IPAs. But I'm slowly getting there. Like I want to try them, especially when I see one that's not like a regular IPA. Give me something like an orange IPA. Okay, that's different. So that one I had was excellent.
Let me tell you a secret.
Yeah.
IPAs have been the king of the craft world since the dawn of time.
It's where where it comes from, right?
You're just getting into it. You're just
Yeah.
noticing it more, right?
And
But
they're
they have
everywhere
been
now.
like ask Chris. Well, we will ask Chris, but IPAs have been since the dawn of time for craft beer. Yeah.
Yeah, it's slowly like I'm appreciating it more now. So
Yeah.
it's definitely like
Well,
notice it more.
everything's changing for you, right? Like you're having all these different beers, and I was the same way. And
I'm
most
growing
people
up.
are. You're growing up. Oh, little babies all grows up.
Exactly.
Yeah. That Florida Stole My Parents, Refined Fool. Boom.
Yeah, what a great name though.
Yeah,
and
right?
the cover's the same too, right? It's a great name.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did try the Epoch Slushy, the Swedish Fish one. We were at Christmas.
Yeah.
It's exactly what you'd think. Tastes like candy. Amazing again. Slight variation on all the other ones, but it's like does taste like the Swedish Fish.
Oh,
There's some
man.
lingonberry in there. You know how like you go to IKEA and you got
lingonberry.
the lingonberry, it's got the little drink,
Yeah.
like it's got lingonberry in there.
And you scrape it off to the side or whatever.
And you can
because
kind of
it's
taste it if you actually know what that tastes like. Well, that's the Sweden part, right?
Yeah.
There was one I had it's called a local press apple cherry cider. So it's not
Okay.
a beer, but a cider, but it's by Collective Arts. That
Really?
was, oh my God.
I
my God.
saw that on your Untapped, and it looked
Yeah. Steph said,
crazy.
that's shareable. I'm like, it's not. I'm not sharing it. So
But is it crushable?
here's a sip. Absolutely crushable.
Yeah.
I had a creme brulee stout.
I
It's
saw
spelled
this
creme
one.
brew, like BREW. So creme brulee stout. It's a pastry stout. It's by Bose. Actually, you can taste the creme brulee flavor. Like I was surprised at that.
burnt
There's
sugar?
no way. It was real. Yeah. And then I had, this is the last one from this one. So I had something, you can see it as I point my finger right there, that orange guy for the video viewers. It was called Madcap Busted Orange. It's a flavored malt beer. It's 8%, but it is fantastic. I couldn't believe how good it was.
Like
it
an
says
OE?
a malt beverage, but it's technically beer.
Like an Old English?
No, definitely not like an old.
A little bit more upscale, yeah.
A little bit more classy. who makes it though? I have to look up who makes it. It's a common brewery though. It's like it's escaping me now. But I was so impressed by that. It was really good.
Sorry, what was the name of that again?
Madcap Busted Orange.
Busted Orange. And then it's funny because like I had like the Fat Orange Cat or something. Like the names are so intertwined.
Yeah, I mean, I could grab the can and look at it, but yeah, it's not important.
Yeah.
So I'll move to California. So we went to California, Disney, did the whole thing. But I was with, I mean, we've mentioned Graham and Chris many times in the first 4 episodes. So I was with both of them. We didn't get to go to breweries, which kind of sucked. Like we got to one brewery. I think Chris went to more because he was in different places. We all kind of took different paths to get to California. So he was definitely had more, and it was his birthday while we were away too. So he capitalized on that.
100%.
But we together only got to one, which was great. But I wish, it was just no time, right? It was called Bottle Logic Brewery. So we were in Anaheim, close to Disney, and we stayed about. We were about 15 minutes from the park, but this brewery was sort of down the street from us. It wasn't very far. Great spot, great vibe. It was California, obviously, but not like it was hot there. It was very, I would say in the teens, like low, mid, high teens at times. Like it wasn't hot like you'd think, but it was a great spot, very good vibe. They had a great board, tons of stuff all over the map.
Yeah.
So we had a flight. Each of us, of course, they were all a little different because we were thinking different tastes, but. So I kind of have a list of what I tried. So very colorful mine was. There was one called Out for Blood, which was a blood orange, kind of like the Madcap, but it was a blood orange, very thick. Looked like orange juice, really.
Okay.
There was one called the Tropical Hideaway, same sort of thing, like a slushy beer with a real thickness to it. Graham had one that we tried called an Apple Pie Fruited Berliner. And it was.
I didn't see that one.
I'm not a big apple pie guy, but like it was apple pie. Like it was really, it was
like
delicious.
The cinnamon and all that.
Yep, all of it.
Oh, delicious.
Which you think like you just taste apple, but no, you tasted apple pie. Like it was actually legit. Had one called Krakatoa, which was a pastry smoothie again, but it was like this beautiful purple color, pinky purple. It was really nice. Then there was one. So this is where things went wrong for a minute. There was one called Toes to the Nose, and it was kind of like a mango-y thick smoothie beer. But the
Okay.
worst part was it started so nice with the mango,
Yeah.
and then as you finished it, as you swallowed and kind of a second later, think of Hawaiian Tropics suntan lotion and like rubbing that on your skin.
Ah,
Like that's what it
yeah.
tastes like at the
Oh
end.
man.
And it was so like wow, and then whoa, no, like
Yeah.
it had such a good
This
start,
is
but
great. Oh
it
gosh.
it just tasted like rubbing that on your skin.
Oh
I wasn't
man.
expecting that. It wasn't expecting that. So it didn't ruin it, but it was very hard to escape that thought of
Fair.
suntan lotion in your head.
That coconutty.
It was the coconut. And
Yeah.
then Graham tried it and he hates coconut. So
He does.
he was like, no,
his whole life he's hated coconut.
can't shake that coconut
No.
taste. Because at the end, that's what it was. Oh,
He's probably
goodness.
still brushing his teeth.
Probably. One was called Eve of Destruction, which was a dragon fruit. That was a really nice color too. But it's hard because dragon fruit, such an uncommon fruit. Like I think I might have tried it once before, but tasted good in a beer format. I know that.
There you go.
Yeah,
Hey, you're winning.
for sure. There was one called, I'm a Stranger Things fan. My oldest daughter and I, Alex, we watched together. So there was one called the Upside Down. It was a tart blackberry wheat beer, like really strong tartness, but like it was actually delicious and another cool color.
Yeah.
That was great. Graham had one that we tried in his flight. It was called Dark Star November.
Okay.
It was 13.8%.
Oh.
And it was I think it was a double stout. And wow, like not my thing at all, but like to try it, it's probably similar to what you have in front of you right now. Add a couple percent, but like it was, you got it up to your mouth. And if you inhale with your mouth and you get that like, ooh, it was,
Yeah.
you weren't guzzling that thing. That was very paint thinner-esque.
Oh, does that? I wonder if that's a little category on Untapped. Paint thinner-esque.
Paint thinner-esque.
Maybe once they sponsor us, we can.
We can create it if
we can create that. Yeah, crushable paint thinner.
It was real. It was real strong. We had one back at the house. It was like instead of Friends, it's called Trends, but it was the same writing as the Friends
okay.
logo.
Sure.
That was a sour pastry that was pretty solid. There was a 4-pack that I bought. Unfortunately, I had to leave 3 of them behind in a fridge in the hotel. But I got to try one of them. It was Warheads, the candy, the sour.
Yes.
So they made a 4-pack. So I managed to get the blue raspberry in, which very, very sour. Tasted more like candy than sour beer, but like was very like sour.
Oh, okay.
It was good though, but I would have liked to try the other 3, but again, ran out of time, man.
Just no time.
Hours in the day. Not enough hours in the day.
No, just no time, man.
There was one, it was a blood orange IPA, and I was really interested in trying it because like the traditional IPAs, I'll try them, but I don't normally pick them out. But I saw a blood orange IPA, and I'm like, okay, that's a variation on an IPA, and I love anything like blood orange. So there was one called Brew Free or Die, and it was a blood orange IPA, and it was quite excellent.
I'm sensing a theme here.
Yeah, would buy that again. Then we had 2 at Disney, and this is where I'll end off.
Okay.
2 at the park itself. One was a mango wheat beer. Think the Blue Moon, but 80 times
Totally
better.
your lane. Yeah.
Yeah. It was by Golden Road, and it was just like in one of the beer stands at the park. Beautiful color, but it was like, have you had the mango wheat?
I have.
Blue Moon?
Yeah. I actually really enjoyed it.
I don't mind it either. It's pretty good. This was just way better. It was like a mango juice. It was incredible.
Jalapeno lime finish.
Not that good, but
okay. I think we'll always reference that. I think I'll throw that in every episode.
I didn't have a pocket of jalapenos to throw in it.
Well, maybe next time.
It was delicious. And then the last one, maybe this is one you had the question on. I have a feeling, was the churro beer. And
I forgot about the churro beer.
The churro beer. So there was one. It was chilly at night, man. It was like drinking beer wasn't the most ideal time to drink beer. Like you're talking like you're bundling up a little bit, and it was cold. So like cold hands, like the cold beer.
Yeah.
But we had a little flight from this little place, and they were decent. The churro one stood out though. Like think churro, right? Cinnamon. Like it was. Yeah, it was like so accurate. Like I couldn't believe they captured that.
Yes,
but
and
it was
I
delicious.
messaged you immediately.
You
that
did.
asked if this was real.
It was like check dings, like whoa.
Bing. Like not even on Untapped. I didn't even comment there. I messaged you on Facebook. I was like, "Is this for real?"
Yeah,
Yes, this is a real thing.
for real.
The
It was
the
by
question,
Garage Brewing, which again we would never see that here, but I don't know if they even can it out there. I'm sure they do, but yeah, this was at the park, so it was a little flight thing. But
isn't
like,
that the Kelsey Brothers brand of beer, like Garage Beers or something?
oh, maybe I'll have to look
think
into
so.
that.
I think so.
Maybe so.
See, we're gonna get as big as them, and we're gonna talk about Kelsey's and New Heights and whatever.
New heights.
New
Speaking
Heights.
of the Kelsey brothers, there was this because America has everything, right?
Of course they do.
Have you ever heard of the Kelsey Mix, the cereal?
Yes, I've heard it on their podcast.
So I didn't know about this till I saw it in front of me. It's Lucky Charms, Reese's Peanut Butter Puffs, and Cinnamon Toast Crunch all mixed together.
I
And
know.
I experienced it, and it was just like, oh, like okay, it was all three of them. I think I'd rather have each of them individually, but just the fact that they have their faces on the box, and you're like, man, they just use people to promote everything.
Oh
right?
man,
That was like three cereals that already exist. Let's just put them all together, and we'll put our faces on the box.
That was an entire segment on one of their episodes, like last season or something.
Oh my God!
Like they were talking about it, but yeah. But the churro beer, I love churros. Who doesn't?
Yeah.
And I immediately wanted it. But my question is, you tried a coffee beer.
Did I?
You did. Yeah.
Let me think.
You tried.
It was probably, I think it was in that flight, actually.
You tried a coffee beer?
But I think it was one of Graham's. He got one,
You
too.
checked it in, because I saw that, and I was like, oh.
I'm trying to remember it now.
For a guy who has said that he has never had a cup of coffee, checking in a coffee stout.
It's true.
I thought, we're going to discuss this. And it's a shame that you don't remember, because I would love to know your thoughts.
Graham's. Yeah, it was the same flight as the churro beer, but he had a different flight, but it was that night.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that now.
Okay.
Yeah. It was very coffee. It was like, I mean, I've tried a sip of coffee before, but it was very coffee.
It's
very
like
strong
coffee beans.
There
in your
was
face,
floating in it. Yeah.
Yeah. Just flick them out. You're like, I don't think I want this. So you wouldn't like that. You wouldn't like that at all. I think you rated it a 2 out of 5.
I might have. Yeah.
Yeah.
I probably did.
But I thought that there was at least one other coffee check-in. I would have to go and if I ever had the time or wanted to,
I feel like I'm being audited.
Right? This, like, excuse me, Mike, you said you never had any coffee, but I've seen you checked in 3 coffee stouts while you're in California. But no, I mean, I thought for sure that you checked in more than one on that trip. And I mean, Graham's a coffee junkie. He loves it. He used to drink a pot of coffee and go to bed. I can't sleep. I better have 12 cups of coffee. Oh, good. Phew. My nerves are shot.
Why am I shaking so much?
Yeah,
no, it was a great trip. I wish we could. I mean, I didn't realize till I started listing them out. I'm like, okay, I did have quite a few there, but they were minimal taste, right? They were. Yeah, I wish we had got to more breweries, but like it wasn't really what the trip was about. But at the same time, like it was a great time. But yeah, the beers, we had some at the house, some out, some at the park. It was that kind of thing. But like if you're going there without much of an agenda, or you're going just to like see, I could see where you'd hit a lot more spots because as we learned in our quiz episode, California produces the most beer. So
that's right.
It would have been kind of a gold mine to go find other beers. But yeah, I mean, I probably checked in 20 plus on that trip, so I will call it a success.
and that's a week, right? Like
yeah, exactly.
You're checking in like 3 a day.
That's how you get to 1,000.
That's how you get to Chris level.
Yeah, except he's with me.
Yeah, right. And he's just
checking in like 3 times as many.
Yeah, and then he had his like him and Jimmy went to Vegas after that.
Yeah,
and he's just checking in like 10 per day, and they're like, "Come on, man!"
But go still, easy on us.
Chris, you never had this one, Agamemnon Omnipolo. I'm winning
them all just so you can't have them.
Just buy the brewery, and like discontinue it.
There you go.
You can't have it if we don't make it.
That's true.
That's a true statement. That's a true statement.
All right. Well, I think that's a wrap. I see you're not finished to your.
No, I mean, on a Thursday night in January, after, I don't think I've had a beer all week actually, and I'm finally feeling better.
Yeah.
Like I was sick there up until like even during the last episode, and then I felt good for like a week, and then I got sick again for another week or so.
That's not
I'm finally feeling
times.
better. Yeah, so it didn't prevent me from drinking beers, but
No, man, because
I had to be hydrated, right? We talked about that last episode.
Yes.
But on a Thursday night when I have to work and 5:30 comes early regardless.
Irregardless.
So irregardlessly. Yeah. Is this on? Regardless. But
well, it's good catching up, man. There's a lot to discuss and just like beer adventures, and they
had some
adventures.
Yeah, we had some adventures over the last little bit, and thank everybody for listening for the episodes, and don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe, and share, and comment on all the socials. We'll be posting them out
comments
as soon as the episodes get posted. And
what was your beer adventure? Like, tell us.
Right? Yeah.
What were your beer adventure over the holidays? Anything crazy, wild? Something we should try? Something we maybe drool over? Maybe be envious? Make
Hit
us
jealous.
Up
with if you know of a festival coming up, like, we'll do our best to attend. Maybe because we're on opposite sides of the province as well. Like you can hit the Southern Ontario ones, and we can hit the Eastern Ontario ones. Ideally, we hit them together, but there's a bit of a party going on, like I alluded to from what I'm told, in mid-February. This 2025 is a big year for someone in your household.
Yes. Yep.
So
it's a 40th birthday.
We'll try to come down and celebrate that. Honestly, it's weather dependent. We want to be there, but if we're getting a snowstorm on the Friday or the Monday, and gotta be safe these days, right? So
that's right.
Yeah, looking forward to the next one.
Boys are back in town.
Boys are back. We gotta narrow down. We gotta pencil in the time here. Pen it in, not pencil.
That's right. That's right. Well,
all right.
Cheers to you, bud. Until the next one.
Cheers, bud.
All right. Cheers.